Hey, hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining in and following along. This is part of my 1000 day daily vlog series. If you're new to my channel, I've set myself the arduous task of trying to film every single day and post every single day here on YouTube. So a subscribe will be absolutely amazing. So thank you so much. As you can probably tell, I'm out here walking my dog. And yeah, I take him out every single day. He's called Buzz and he's lovely. And every day I talk about something uniquely different, something different every single day to look forward to. And today I'm talking about, should you let old friends back in your life? Should you do that? And maybe they've contacted you recently and asked you to, to have a coffee or to meet up, and maybe you haven't seen them for a very long time. And that could mean months, weeks, or even years. So, is that something that you should consider or do? Well, I guess you have to define what that friendship was. And a lot of people have a blurred line between friendships and colleagues. Now, are your colleagues your friends? I would probably say not. There are people that they don't have an emotional vested interest in you. They're like certain qualities that you have, but they certainly don't, they certainly don't, have that such a connection where they would be there for you at your worst dire moment. So you've got to, I think, de-blur that line that says, that they are not that close a friend. And our definition of friendships, I think, change over time. What could start out as a colleague and their mutual sort of understanding of life is very similar to yours, and you have this or similar sort of outlook to them. But when you haven't seen somebody for a very long time, I mean, it's up to you how you decide what is a long time. It could mean that you don't see them for, if it's say a month or so, yeah, I think that's probably fine. A few months, 2 months, yeah, 2 or 3 months. Are they that close to you that you don't regard that as regular contact? I'm certain in life that we meet people, especially through our jobs, and they are just colleagues. And sometimes those just colleagues want to reignite that connection for whatever reason. It may be that, they were getting something from you in terms of, some kind of understanding, some kind of, they felt that the friendship was probably more than actually what you do. I think, to be honest, if you've had a certain amount of time pass, I don't think you should let them back in. And I think the reason for that is because, there's been a reason why you've not kept the contact up. You've not had the continued contact. You've not had the, repeated, almost weekly sort of text or call. And maybe you felt drained by some of the things that they brought to the table or some of the things that they've said. Some people, some colleagues reflect an awful lot on certain things. It could be that they were a victim of some kind of something that happened to them in their past, and they're constantly bringing it up in conversations with you, and that conversation gets to be a little bit, how can I say this, difficult to deal with. It's not that you're unempathetic, you are. It's not that you're, that you don't want to listen to it, but when you've heard it over and over again, and there seems to be no change on their part, yeah, that's that can wear very thin. And do you necessarily want that in your life? Probably not. You don't, because you want to live a peaceful life, and it's the same rehash of everything that's going on. So when they make or reignite that contact with you, you've got to say to yourself, do I really want that continued stuff in my life? And I would say, if you want peace in your life and you want to go on a different trajectory, you've got to think about you and what your peace means to you. And if you don't want that, if you're not getting that anything out of that relationship, not that you should seek to get anything out of a relationship, it should just be a mutual understanding, a mutual closeness. You should have fun when you're together, at least. You should enjoy your time together. And if you're not getting that, yeah, that's not so good. That's not a great place to be. So if somebody tries to reignite that friendship, you've got to say, you know, the same way that you bring some of your characteristics to the table and maybe some negativity in terms of the things that's happening in your life, that's fine. But you're exposing yourself to that continued negativity. And that continued negativity can have an impact long term. And if they've not evolved and, you know, pursued a lifestyle which has got better for them, and they're in that same place, you're going to get pretty much the same thing in that friendship. And in that friendship, you know, you've got to say to yourself, am I happy to resume it? Am I happy to continue doing this? Because, you know, if you are, that's fine. If you're not, or you're fearful of it, then don't re-engage. You know, you don't have to reply. It's up to you. You're an adult. You can do what you want. Nothing is set in stone. If you want to live your life away from these people, then you've got to say to yourself, you know, no, I'm not going to have that contact. You know, you could reply politely if you want to. You could say, you know, look, thank you for, you know, considering me, you know, coming back in your life. But, you know, I feel I've moved on and I do wish you all the best. And yeah, but, you know, respectfully, kindly, no thanks. And I think that's better to do that, you know. Sometimes being direct is the right thing, but in being direct sometimes we don't like that because it has the potential to bring about conflict. People don't like directness to them. You could tell them to the face, but they just think you're being horrible then. Well, you're not. You're just being direct and telling them exactly how you feel about this given scenario. So, you know, it's up to you if you have them back in your life, but just be mindful of the fact that they're probably going to bring the same things. They're probably going to talk about the same things. Now, you know, all of us as creatures who walk this planet, we all have our interests, we all have our hobbies, we all have our foibles, our characteristics. I, in particular, am interested in videography, cinematography. I bore people rigidly talking about it, and I get that. So if you are in my life, you're probably going to hear a bit about that. You're probably going to hear about, you know, Instagram, TikTok, you know, YouTube. You're probably going to hear about it. So if these are things that my friends don't like, thankfully I've got very, very good friends and they're brilliant, but they would listen to that and they like that and they access these applications. So, you know, I'm very lucky that the people that I've surrounded myself with, who I do have, you know, they do send me memes, they do send me stuff, they do connect with me on a level that I like to connect with. You know, so maybe that's what you have to look for. And if they're not going to connect with you on that level that you are going to connect with, then maybe, just maybe, you need to say no to that reignition of that relationship. And I think probably that's the right way to go forward. So should you reconnect? Entirely up to you. I would say, you know, if you've had reason to disconnect, I would say no, because have they likely changed? Well, people do, but probably not. On that note, thank you so much for following and listening, and a subscribe would be absolutely amazing. So if you could do that, I would really, really appreciate it. Yeah, look, I'll see you guys tomorrow because this is a daily vlog and part of my 1000 day series, and I'm well into my 60s now. How about that? I think this is vlog 61 or 62. So yeah, we did it, guys. We're continuing, we're going, and thank you for coming along for the journey. I'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless. Bye now.